There are Dead by Daylight players that prefer original killers over licensed killers. I am definitely one of those people. I love Behavior's original ideas, but if you're someone who likes the licensed characters more, I don't blame you. Some of these licensed characters are fire. Some of them... So in today's video, I'm going to be ranking and tier listing all of the licensed killers in Dead by Daylight, and I'm going to be ranking them on 4 different categories. First one is look/sound design. The killer has to look and sound cool, obviously. Number 2 is power relativity. How true is their power to the original, like where the character comes from? 3, are they fun to play as? And 4, are they fun to play against? Whenever I did the originals video, I also did it on lore, but it's not really fair to do it on lore since Behavior didn't make the lore of the killers. The only thing original that they add to it is like the entity took them into the realm or some shit. So yeah, we're not talking about lore, so there's less things to, you know, rank them on. So that's why we only have 3 tiers. But for these tiers, I have okay, great, and amazing. Really self-explanatory. I don't gotta say much. And expect almost everybody to be like up in this tier because I don't really think we had a really bad license other than one particular killer. And before we get into it, let me just say this is all my opinion. You know, it's not correct. It's not factual. This is what I feel personally about the addition. This is for fun, and if you have any changes you would make to it or something you disagree with, put it down in the comments below. All right, I'm gonna stop procrastinating. Let's get into the video. And we're doing this in order. So first we have Michael Myers. Looks obviously a 5. There are some people that nitpick everything like he's not wearing the right shoes or whatever, but I don't really care. As long as the mask looks close enough and he looks big and imposing, then it's Michael Myers. So for looks, I gotta give him a 5. For relativity, I'm also gonna give him a 4 or a 5. I'm gonna just give him a 5. The reason why I was thinking about giving him a 4 is because he kind of just like disappears and reappears the second you're not looking at him, even though he doesn't really do this in Dead by Daylight. But he obviously stalks you, and then once he fully stalks you, he's terrifying. I think it is really like true to the character, like in general. I just think it makes a lot of sense. So power relativity is gonna be a 5. Fun to play as, I'm gonna give him a 3. I'm not gonna give him a 5 because, you know, they kind of reworked the way he plays, and now he's just kind of another plain old dash killer. He's still pretty fun though, but like, I don't know, it's not what Michael Myers used to be. But if we're ranking on how we used to play, I'm also gonna give him a 3 because without his add-ons that are just completely unfair, where you mori somebody without hooking them at all, which is not just almost unfair, but it's not fun. If you're not running those add-ons, this character was literally dog shit. So if you're going against a full like Swift, you're probably just losing the match. And fun versus, I'm also gonna give him a 3 because either A, your teammates are feeding him stalk and then he finds you and just moris you, or his early game is so bad, which it usually is, that by the time he gets 1 hook, there's only 2 gens left, which, you know, that match is basically over. It's not really fun to play as a killer or survivor. And if we total all this together, this does leave him with 16, which obviously puts Michael Myers in amazing. I still think he was one of the best chapters in the game, and obviously since he was the first and it was Michael Myers, he opened the door for all other licensed characters. Now we got Bubba. For looks, obviously a 5. Like, he sounds like Bubba, looks like Bubba. Power relativity, also a 5. I know on release he wasn't good. Like on release he was like unplayable and he had like reused add-ons from the Hillbilly or whatever. But looking at Bubba now, like this is probably how Bubba would play, you know? So it's a 5. Fun as, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna give him a 2. Bumping into random objects that like don't make any sense because hitboxes are fucking stupid. Being forced to run Bamboozle every match, I just don't think it's that fun. As I said before, this is my opinion. I know a lot of people love playing Bubba, but this is just for me. I don't think he's very fun to play as. Fun against, I would give him a 4 because this character is low-key dog shit, so it's kind of easy to loop. It just comes down to mind games and whether or not he has Bamboozle. And if he doesn't have Bamboozle, well, you're getting a free win. And let's see Bubba with 16, which also puts him in amazing next to Myers. Also, I'm speeding through this video because I'm not trying to have another video that's almost 40 minutes long of me yapping. Next, we got Freddy. For looks, I'm gonna give him a 3 because they didn't do the old Freddy. They did the newer, kind of like rebooted Freddy. That doesn't look very nice. They just didn't use the Freddy that everybody wanted them to use, which is like, well, it's okay. It's whatever, I guess. Now, for relativity, honestly, I'm gonna give him a 2 because he's so like crazy and powerful and can do all these mind-bending things. Just for him to be released into the game and he has to pull you into the dream world and then hit you and you have to fail a skill check, like it's just a little bit too, not too much, but I don't know. I just feel like the way he was introduced was absolutely terrible. His rework was also absolutely terrible, and how he plays right now is actually much more fun, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know, I just do not think he's powerful enough. And obviously the entity can like nerf or buff killers however it wants when it gets to the entity's realm, but still, just nah. Fun to play as. Right now, I am going to give him a 3 because he is really fun to play as. The only thing that sucks is like survivors constantly waking themselves up, waking each other up, failing the skill checks to wake up. They get hooked, they wake up, which makes you powerless. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, you can put them right to sleep using your powers, but like, what the fuck, bro? Fun to play as. I'm gonna give him a 2. Like, he's kind of just like a mix between like Clown and like Springtrap, kind of, I guess. Being slowed down is never fun, and him just spamming pallets and they eventually down you isn't all that fun, even though I'm not saying he's strong. Like, he's definitely not a very strong killer. Like, he's probably like a B tier killer, but it's not really fun to play as, you know? But mainly because I really want to go off of how he was released and his first rework that just made him absolutely dreadful. They didn't use the likeness of the Freddy we wanted. I gotta put him in okay. Like, he was not mind-blowing. He was not raising a bunch of eyebrows. Like, nah. He was just so mid. As a licensed chapter, I think he was probably the worst one. I'm not gonna lie. Now we got Pig. For looks, obviously a 5. It's Amanda Young wearing her red jacket with that the Pig wears in Saw. Amanda's skins are also fire. Her sound design with the traps and everything, it's so amazing. Which also leads into relativity of 5. Having her slowdown be the reverse bear traps, the one thing she had to get out of, was also just a perfect idea and is really good slowdown. Fun to play as. I'm gonna give her a 4 because, you know, like, she really just suffers like early game. And like mid to late game, she can really shine, but early game, she's like unbelievably ass. Like, there are sometimes you won't even get all your traps off because how fast the survivors are getting the gens done. So she's not the funnest, but she is really fun. Plus her stealth is really nice and fun to go against. A 2. Don't get me wrong, this character like in chase is kind of dog shit if she's not running the crouch add-ons, but like a pig that's tunneling you with a trap on your head, like, bro, that shit is so fucking annoying, bro. If that happens, I wish like if she stays in chase with you while you have an active trap, it starts like pulling your timer back so you get more time. Because if she chases you off of a box once and she has like a purple add-on to reduce the timer, you're fucking dead and it's not fun. This leaves her with a 15, which puts her in the very top of great, because I think she was an amazing addition, don't get me wrong, but like obviously her power has needed a bunch of changes over the years. For Ghostface, for looks, I want to give him a 3. Yeah, the mask is amazing, but like, what the fuck is this outfit, bro? Like, what is this hanging off of him? I don't like that shit. Get that shit out of my face. For relativity, I'm gonna give him a 4 because yeah, stalking people, being sneaky, you know, being scary as soon as they're one shot, that makes a lot of sense. That's Ghostface. But like, he blends in. Like, he's one of the main characters in the movies all the time. So obviously I don't think it was bad. Like, how he plays is just exactly how Ghostface would play, other than the fact that he could be disguising himself as a survivor, you know? So that's just me nitpicking, but again, this is my list. Fun as, I'm gonna give him a 3 because if you play like an absolute mastermind, get the best dogs off, the best insta downs, and you have the best build to work out, like, he is one of the most satisfying killers in the game. However, this killer is also dog shit. If he stalks you, you just loop him like he's Trapper, because he's basically just Trapper. And fun of versus of 5, when he has you one shot and you're looping him and he's like doing these crazy mind games or whatever, and you have to know whether or not you're stalked, that shit is fun. There's so much adrenaline pumping through your veins when you're getting chased by Ghostface while you're one shot. It's just fun. This leads Ghostface with a 15. I gotta put him in great, especially because not very many people play these characters. Like, a lot of people play these two, but not very many people play these two. I don't think anybody plays this nigga. Next, we got Demogorgon. For looks, sound design, and power relativity, we gotta give him a 5. Like, it's the demo puppy. He's perfect. His sounds are perfect. His Mori is almost perfect. The sound he makes while teleporting, his screams are perfect. The hissing when he charges up his power, this character is perfect. Please buff Demogorgon. Fun to play as, I'm gonna give him a 4 because there are just some add-ons that are just utterly useless, and some add-ons that should just be base kits. And there's other things like his teleport, like needing to put down all of his teleports just for them to be able to be deleted. It's very slow, and this character feels really clunky at times. Other than that, he's really fun. Fun to play against, also a 4. This character is like well balanced, so you're almost never in a spot where you feel like you can't do anything. But this character is like good at everything to a point where he can make a comeback if he's good enough. So yeah, also a 4 on that. This leaves him with an 18. Obviously, he's going in amazing addition to the game. So I'll put him above Michael though, because so many people love Michael. I'm gonna put him below Michael just because how iconic Michael is. Now we got Pyramid Head. For looks, give him a 5, obviously. In the sound design, when he's dragging his sword on the ground, he's using his power, all the metallic sounds. Bro, he has the most underrated tear radius when you're getting chased in the game. For relativity, I'm gonna give him a 4. I never ever played a single Silent Hill game, so I don't know how accurate his power actually like is, but I think it's really fucking cool. So when to play as, I'm gonna give him a 5. You're constantly putting survivors in like a spot where you put down your sword and it's like if they take the window, they get hit. If they don't take the window, they'll get hit. And he's just really strong in the 1v1. So I give him a 5 there, which which also leads to fun against. I'm gonna give him a 3 because his power is very dodgeable, but then again, if he's just one that just constantly tries to zone you, he doesn't go for any fancy shots, it's not the most fun to go against, and he's also a decent tunneler. This leaves him with 18, which also puts him up in amazing. Who would have guessed? Then we got Nemesis. For looks, a 5. Obviously, I think the Resident Evil 3 remake and Nemesis is like the best he has ever looked, way better than the original. His footsteps are heavy, which just adds to the character, I'm not gonna lie. But then we get to the power relativity, I gotta give him a 1. Like, that little tentacle thing, that's like a very minuscule thing that he uses in the actual like Resident Evil 3 remake. And then in Dead by Daylight, his whole power is this little ass tentacle. Not only that, but I hate his animations where he's fully throwing his back into breaking the pallet. Bro, he should walk through the pallet. It should be effortless. I gotta give him a 1. Like, obviously it looks like Nemesis, but it doesn't play like Nemesis would actually play. Fun to play as though, I gotta give him a 4. I am biased because he's like my 4th most played killer, and he also puts you in those get hit situations that you really can't escape from. So yeah, this character is really fun to play as. Then fun to play against, I gotta give him a 2. He's just an insane zoner. The zombies are just such an inconvenience, and every Nemesis player tunnels except for me. Like, I swear every Nemesis player except for me tunnels every match, and it's so annoying and brain dead. This gives him a 12, which also puts him in great. I think he was good. Then we got Pinhead. Looks, gotta give him a 5. The sound of the chains, the sound of the box, what he says when he's teleporting, like, he comes every match, like he's coming. Power relativity, obviously a 5, because even though like he doesn't have the most oppressive power, even though he's one of the strongest beings in like the realm, you could tell just by his animations and everything that he's really not trying. Like, he's really just doing it to make the survivors scream and suffer. Fun to play as, I'm gonna give him a 3. Like, managing the box and everything, it is very fun, but he is a character that you have to be really good at and decent on to, you know, do what you can with the box. Not to mention his chain is like very unreliable in a bunch of loops. There are some times where you feel like you can't do anything. And fun to play against, 1. He is obviously a solo queue stomper because, you know, somebody has to be dedicated towards the box. Some niggas still don't know how to loop him somehow or dodge his chain. So yeah, fun to play against. I'm gonna give him a 1, which does leave him with a 14, which puts him up here in great. Now we got Onryo. For looks, sound design, and power relativity, of 5. She's constantly teleporting across the map. She's stealthy, getting a bunch of pressure from the tapes. When you're getting condemned too much, she can more you because of the tapes. Like, it just makes a lot of sense. The sound of the TVs and getting condemned, it's all just super nice, and I think they nailed it perfectly. But then this is where my bias comes in. For fun to play as, I gotta give her a 3, because teleporting across the map, doing a bunch of pressure, and maybe mooring survivor before getting them dead on hook is very, very satisfying. This character is still weak as fucking chase. Like, this character is terrible in chase. And fun to play against, I'm gonna give her a 2. A good Onryo that's just like teleporting and condemning you, and then she just tunnels whoever's the most condemned until they die. It's not very fun. Her slowdown is very strong if put in the right hands and with the right add-ons. So yeah, she's not that fun to go against. This leaves her with a 15, which also puts her up here in great. I think she was a really good addition to the game. Now we got Wesker. It may be biased here, but pretty much everything, I'm gonna give him a 5. Well, obviously for looks and sound design, he's getting a 5. For power relativity, I could give him very like something else because he is so much more faster and does so much more in Resident Evil games. But what he does is literally what Wesker would do. He has these really fast dashes. He's trying to spread Burrow, so you gotta get rid of it. It just makes a lot of sense. And fun to play as and fun to play against, I would give him a 5, but I'll give him a 4, mainly because when you're playing as him, there's a bunch of loops where you just can't use your power. And playing against him, some Weskers will get you infected and just tunnel you, and there's not shit you can do about it. But obviously this is gonna be up in amazing, obviously. Like, he's one of the most played characters for a reason, and had like the best licensed chapter ever in my opinion. Now we got Xenomorph. For looks and sound design, gotta give him a 5, or her, or it's, you know, I'm not really sure. Like, I literally played Alien Isolation on stream, and even though the game was hard, it was still a lot of fun. And this killer looks like it was ripped right out of it. But to power relativity, does it feel like it was ripped out of it? Hell no. The tail attack is kind of just like a different Nemesis thing, which is kind of just a little copy and paste. And then they have the underground system teleport thing where you could get to wherever you want really fast, which is okay, it's whatever, but like, I don't know. Like, using the flamethrowers to get him out of power, like, that makes a lot of sense, but I just don't feel like the power fits, you know what I mean? Just a tail dash? What are we doing? For fun to play as, I'm gonna give a 3, because if you're really good at aiming the tail in this character, then this character is really rewarding, and you have so much mobility that the character can always be in chase, and that's fun. But for fun to play against, I wouldn't say they're very fun to play against. You kind of just double turret, and they can't do anything, or they're so good at aiming their tail, you just go down instantly in chase. Like, this character, if you hit every single shot, this character is literally unfair. Like, yeah, you you can say that about everybody, but like, I don't know, get off my dick. And obviously, Ripley also, I know we're talking about the killers mainly, like, we're basically only talking about the killers, but like, the whole chapter was just underwhelming. Ellen Ripley was kind of underwhelming. The map was underwhelming. I gotta put Xenomorph like up here. You guys, how many times is my voice cracking, dude? What the fuck? Now we got Chucky. For looks, sound design, and power relativity, all that's getting a 5. Like, I don't think they could have got Chucky any more perfect in a game like Dead by Daylight. Even to the thing we're picking up the survivors, where back in the day nobody was like, hey, there's no possible way Chucky will be able to do that. And what do you know? Chucky's ghost can like spawn in and do that. Like, it just makes sense. So I gotta put it like that. Fun to play as, I'm gonna give him a 3, because even though sometimes your dash that you do is pretty much like undodgeable from the survivor, the character is still really slow. The character is still kind of loud. So like, you're never really steamrolling a match unless it's a group of solo queue survivors that are just like not doing gens. But this character is still strong, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's weak, but he's definitely not like so strong, and like the dash is so good and easy and fun that the character is brain dead and fun to play. Like, I don't think so. Then fun to play against, he's getting a 1. He's so short, he can mind game you without mind gaming you. His dash is almost it's what's the word? It's undodgeable in certain loops, and yeah, it's just not fun. And this nigga's just annoying, so yeah, I'm giving him a 1. This leaves him with a 14 though. I gotta put him in grade. I do think he was a great addition to Dead by Daylight. Now we got Lich. I know so many people are gonna like get mad at what I'm about to say, but I'm not into Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know shit about Dungeons and Dragons. I think his look and sound design is really good. I don't know how faithful it is. I think his powers are really good and they fit in Dead by Daylight, but I don't know how like accurate they are. I do think he's fun to play as, and I do think he is kind of fun to play against, but I don't think his chapter really blew anybody out of the water or anything. I don't think it was something insanely special, especially because on release he was much more janky and had some bugs. So I'm gonna just put him in the top of great, because there are gonna be some people like, oh, how dare you not rank the killer? Like, I don't know shit about Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if he's like a Dead by Daylight Dungeons and Dragons like crossover original, or if he's ripped out of Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know. He's going in great. Now we got Dracula. For looks, obviously he's gonna get a 5. I think he just looks perfect. He looks like he was ripped out of Castlevania and put it into Dead by Daylight. Like, he looks nice. He has some of the best drip in the game easily. For relativity, I'm gonna just give him a 5. Again, I never watched Castlevania or anything, but I know that he can like turn into a werewolf and a bat, and he has fire powers. And what do you know, in game he can turn into a werewolf, a bat, and has fire powers. Fun to play as, I'm gonna give him a 4, because yeah, I'm gonna just give him a 4. I don't really have that much fun playing him, but he's not unfun to play. Like, I'm never gonna say, damn it, I gotta play Dracula. If I have a challenge, I'm gonna enjoy it, but he's not as fun as like Wesker. And fun to play against, people are gonna disagree with me in the comments, and I'm ready for it. I'm giving him a 2. This killer is not very fun to play against. He always has some fucking power that is like every time I get caught by him, I'm in a loop where he can always use his fire over it, or if he's the dog, he's in a loop where he can use his 2 dashes and kill me, and I can't do anything about it. It's probably just a skill issue, but like constantly going, like, imagine Wesker, but he didn't have a cooldown for dashes, and that's what the fuck this killer is. It's not fun. But even with all that said, in my own biased opinion, by the way, I told you guys multiple times, this is all my opinion, I still think he was an amazing addition to Dead by Daylight. I still think he was a great addition. Definitely one of the best original chapters that we had. You know how many people play Dracula now? And the character is disgusting. Talk about fucking power creep. This nigga is power creep. Boy, oh boy. Now this is where I'm gonna get the most hate comments. Kaneki. This killer's fucking amazing. I love playing this fucking killer. Like, Legion's one of my mains, right? But this is literally Legion, but with mobility. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love playing this killer. It's so brain dead and fun, which is also crazy because it's so deceiving, because this killer is so easy to pick up and play, but this character has like the highest skill ceiling, bro. Other than like Blight and Hillbilly, this character has one of the highest skill ceilings in the game, and it's not even close. For looks, obviously he's getting a 5, and for the relativity, he's getting a 5. And like, I'm only saying this, like, usually I don't really watch the stuff that comes to Dead by Daylight, but like, when I heard Kaneki was coming, I was like, huh, I should probably watch Tokyo Ghoul. And bro, that shit was fire. Then again, I only watched the first season, and I don't plan on watching anymore. But still, fun to play as. He's getting a 5. Free mobility, free first injure, Volt over Palace faster. This character is so fun to play as, dude. It's so brain dead and fun. Then fun to play against. He's getting a 2. He's one of the worst characters in the game to play against, and it's not even close. Free first injury, that's unstoppable, you know? He was so unbelievably brain dead on the PTB, and then even on release, he was still brain dead, even though he wasn't as OP. And now he's at a point where he's definitely one of the strongest killers in the game, but in my opinion, he is one of the most loopable, strongest killers in the game. People who don't agree with me, if you can't loop Kaneki, then it's a skill issue. He is the most loopable top tier killer in the game. He's more loopable than Dracula. All right, but yeah, I'll put him in amazing. People are gonna disagree and leave a ton of hate comments. I don't care. I love Kaneki. And now we got the man behind the slaughter. For looks, obviously he's getting a 5. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not a 1-for-1 replica of the Springtrap from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but it's still amazing. Like, it looks amazing. The model of Afton's body inside the suit is amazing. This character is so tough. For relativity though, I'm gonna give him a 3 because, like, when the fuck can he teleport? Like, him being stealthy makes sense because, you know, he silently murdered children or whatever. But like a big ass pizza knife, like, I guess that works. You would have to kill the kids with something. But an axe that you can throw, like, is definitely just because, you know, one of the most popular FNAF songs ever, FNAF fan songs, where they had the purple guy killing the animatronics with the axe. That's definitely where they got that from. And the axe is on fire because he gets burned to death at FNAF 6. So it makes sense. But like throwing an axe and teleporting, just he never did that. He never did that move. Fun to play as, I'm gonna give him a 4 because you can always chase people. You always have your axe and chasing. If you don't have it, you're 4.6. You're not stuck at 4.4. Some decent add-ons, works with a ton of builds, can hit over a bunch of things, has orbitals. Like, this killer is fun as fuck, and then fun to play against. I'm gonna give him a 3. Obviously, him always having his axe is a little bit annoying, even though, like, he doesn't always have it. The fact that he misses his axe and then he just gets stronger and chased by getting faster, like, it's not I don't think it's super nice. Also, every fucking gen has a door right next to it, so, like, you're almost never safe on a fucking gen. Yeah, you can see him coming from a mile away, but, like, he doesn't have to walk across the whole map to get to you. Like, he's just on you for free. Not to mention, he's also one of those killers that could put you in a get hit or get hit situation. And it's actually very strong because he barely slows down when even holding up his axe. He's a strong killer. And this will leave him at 15, which puts him in great. But because it's FNAF and Dead by Daylight, and we got the highest player count ever, I gotta put him at least in the bottom of amazing. Obviously, he was an amazing addition to Dead by Daylight. He brought so many people into the game. And yeah, he's really fun to play as. So I think Behavior did a great job bringing him into the game, and it was an amazing chapter. All right, this is my ranking of all the licensed killers in Dead by Daylight, put on a tier list from the best killers added to the worst killers added. And obviously, I think every licensed addition is going to be a good addition no matter how bad it is. And yeah, this is all in order, and this is all my opinion. Again, this is all for fun. And let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. That is one of the main reasons I made this video. I want to know what you guys think the best and worst licenses are down in the comments. Make sure you comment them, and make sure you subscribe. We are on the road to 10,000 subs. And if you have any video ideas, make sure you put them down in the comments below. I just might do them. Anyways, other than that, hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a good day.
It started when we were younger. You were my boo.